G'day guys, Paul here from DCS. Today we're going to talk about our premium range of Slimline batteries. Now we've got the 200 Slim. This guy can support up to 3000 watt inverters on his own. And we've got the 120 amp hour Super Slim, which can support up to 2000 watt inverters on its own. Now we're going to rip into the 200 amp hour Slim first, point out all the key features. I'm going to open one up, show you all the internals. And we'll have a good deep dive and learn as much as we can about this 200 Slimline. So what sets our 200 Slims apart from some of the other batteries on the market? Well, we're going to look at those key features. So first of all, you've got two sets of terminals up the top of the battery pack. These can support 200 amps each. The battery itself can do 250 amps continuous output. So if you're running a 3000 watt inverter, you can run two pairs of cables out to your inverter, making sure the cables are running nice and cool, and you're spreading the load across two pairs of terminals. I'm going to open this battery pack up for you now, guys, and I'm going to show you some of the unique features inside. All right, guys, so this is actually the brains of your battery, the battery cell pack, right? So these cells, we're using cylindrical cells. There's aluminium busbars that create all the parallel connections. And we no longer spot weld battery cells, we laser weld these battery cells. You get a much better connection. And also the aluminium is so thick, the only way to do it properly is with a laser welder. Once the cell packs are laser welded, we use these epoxy insulation panels to create the bucket for the cell packs. And then we liquid inject and fill this entire cell pack with this thermal interface resin, okay? And it gives you this beautiful sealed coating and makes this battery cell pack completely waterproof and submersible. Nothing can eat away at it, and nothing's going to destroy your battery cells. So these have every chance of giving you the full cycle life or the full service life to make sure these batteries outlast every other battery on the market. Now, a couple of key features. So the cell interface resins obviously giving you ingress protection. The resin itself is a specialized resin designed for battery cells, and it pulls heat out of the surface of the actual battery cell itself. So there's no longer any hot spots in the cell pack. So if you're working these cells really hard on high loads, you know that your battery cells are all sitting at the same temperature. Every single cell in the pack will be plus or minus within 1 degree Celsius, which means they're going to age evenly over time, and these batteries are going to outlast every other battery on the market. So this design dramatically increases the service life of your battery pack, especially if you're traveling across the top end. If you're heading up to the Cape, you're heading across the Kimberleys, through Kakadu, into Darwin, doing the Gig River Road, moving around the northern parts of the country, across the Torres Straits, this is the battery technology that you want to spend your money on. So starting from the perfect cell pack and moving into the management side of things of our electronics, you got the DCS Gen 3 battery management system inside this battery pack. This guy supports 250 amps continuous output, our active cell management system, Bluetooth connectivity, getting super accurate state of charge readings, the far superior than a third-party device. So look at your DCS Lithium app for your best monitoring and your most accurate monitoring. This entire design with the cell, starting from the cell pack, and obviously the way the electronics are designed and the way all this bolts together, all this passes 810G military vibration standards. And all our batteries actually undergo that vibration testing standard to ensure these batteries are super reliable. All right, so lastly, guys, I want to talk about the warranty on these batteries. You're getting a full 5-year unlimited cycle warranty. On top of that, you're getting an 80% retention guarantee. We're one of the few manufacturers in the country that back and guarantee these batteries to be above 80% of the nominal capacity at the 5-year window. If you're shopping around looking for quality batteries, check the fine print with other suppliers, because they either hide that information or there is no retention guarantee. So when you're buying a premium product like this, know that you're well backed by our technology and our guarantees. Now, we have a new service centre here in Coomera in southeast Queensland. Even once you're outside of warranty with these batteries, we have all the parts in stock. You can buy a new cell pack for our batteries and you can buy a new battery management system as well. For a fraction of the price of a new one, you can return them to our service department. We can put a new battery cell pack in for you or put a new battery management system in it for you. Now I'm going to talk about the 120 amp hour super slim line of premium batteries. So this is the 120 amp hour super slim. This battery is only 50 mil in width. And this is the baby brother of the big 200 slim power station. This battery is just as capable. Also features our cell interface resins and the same cell chemistry that obviously we use in the 200 slims. And this guy can support those 2000 watt inverter loads. These batteries are perfect for the back of your Y62s, inside cabs, 79 series, 70 series cars, under drawer systems in wagons. They also come with side mounting, flush mounting brackets. So these batteries are super capable. 120 amp hours is a lot of capacity, and you can super fast charge these batteries as well. All right, so you got the two brackets which go at either end of the batteries. So you can actually install these flush against a canopy wall, for example, or you can of course bolt them flush to a surface so they don't slide around if you're going to be going underneath maybe a drawer system or inside a canopy wall. You can also hide them internally. Now you've got two 120 amp Anderson plugs. So each one of these Anderson plugs is rated at 120 amps. So if you are running a 2000 watt inverter, you're simply running both Anderson plugs out to that inverter or to your DC bus in your system. All right, so you got your 120 amp Anderson plug and your tails. Now you've got two of them, so obviously going to your negative and positive distribution point in your system. Super important, guys. Don't connect these until you've got your system all wired up and finished. If these are not connected already to your system, I suggest to connect them first, then plug them in, or tape these up before you plug them in to the actual battery, because obviously these tails are going to be live. So Anderson plugs, never have them halfway. Grab it, plug it straight in, snap it in, okay? Same with your second one. If you're going to be running two for a powerful system, plug them in, snap them in, make sure your cables are isolated. All right, so exactly like the 200 Slimline, these batteries, of course, have a 5-year, 80% capacity retention guarantee, including obviously unlimited cycles. We also keep all the parts in stock for these batteries. So again, once you're outside of warranty, you can obviously buy the electronics and you can buy the cell packs for these. You can easily keep these in service for 10 years at least. All right, guys, so we also have our own range of 316 stainless steel battery trays for the 200 amp hour batteries. So if you're running a single battery in a canopy or somewhere, don't put straps on these things. They weigh 30 kilos. You don't want to move it around. Get a proper laser cut battery tray like this. You bolt it in, you bolt it for the floor. It's not going to go anywhere. And also the laser kit comes with this mounting tray. So it gives you a beautiful place to mount your DC-DC charger and some MIDI fuses. So that just bolts in on the side. And for example, the Victron XS 50 amp DC-DC chargers, in our opinion, these are the best DC-DC charger on the market by a mile. Super lightweight, super thin, compact, 50 amps output, fully programmable in the output, so you can dial them down if you've got an application where you don't need to run the full power. And these guys just bolt straight up on top, and it's all nice and compact. You've still got room. You can even move this guy across and still fit some MIDI fuses here and bang it straight into the terminal. So super efficient setup. So one of the cool features about the DCS Lithium app is you can select how many batteries in parallel you actually have. So for example, here there's two batteries in parallel. Push and pull the toggle switch over, and now it's set up the app for two batteries in parallel. So it will give you the net of the two batteries. So you only have to connect to whichever one has the strongest signal, hook into that one, switch it over to two. It will give you the correct average time remaining, power, obviously, and current as well. It allows you to do up to 4 batteries in parallel this way. So you can also hook in 3 batteries in parallel, configure that for 3 batteries, and you can configure it for 4 as well. So a really cool feature, part of the app. Another cool feature on the app is the time to go average. We can actually customize that. By default, we set it to 3 minutes, but you can also change that to up to 10 minutes or drop it down to 0 so you can get an instantaneous readout of the battery bank. So that's a really cool feature as well. Also now on the app, guys, you have the user guide right there. So if you need to find anything out, passcodes for features of the app, information about how the app works, tips, user guide on how to maintain the batteries correctly, securing your batteries, all that information is now available on the app. So go through that if you have any questions. There's a lot of juicy information in there for you guys. And we'll continue to expand that over time as well and give you more information and more tips and tricks about maintaining lithium batteries. Another cool feature is when you guys are running third-party head units in vehicles, for example, the app now does support horizontal mode, so you can access all the data now and it's actually properly formatted. So that's another cool feature of the app as well. So just a quick overview of the app. You can obviously see the voltage, current, power, time remaining or time to go average. You can see for batteries that have integrated solar chargers. We also do manufacture our own solar regulators. It's in a hybrid range of batteries at the moment. That will show you that data and information there. The battery management system temperature. So obviously you can't control the temperature of battery cells because that's dependent on the environment that you put them in. But more importantly, the temperature of the battery management system is important to see how hard it's working, especially when you're punishing single batteries. Obviously, with multiple batteries in parallel, the temperature is barely ever going to change. They're going to be having a very easy life. But if you're punishing single batteries, that BMS temperature readout comes in handy. Obviously, cycle count. So cycle count is an indication of how much work the batteries have done over their lifetime. So if you put these in a caravan and you need to do 2 trips a year, you might only see 5 or 10 cycles a year, right? If you're an off-grid, full-time off-grid running a battery system for a family, running batteries non-stop and they're permanently on service, you might see up to 200 cycles a year. The cycle count has nothing to do with the cycle performance. It is purely a reference to show how much work that battery pack has done over its time. And obviously the batteries in parallel feature, which we just went over before. Lastly, you have the individual cell information data. So you can see the voltage of every single battery series connection internally. In your 12-volt batteries, for example, that's a 4S connection. And also shows you the real-time cell balancing data. So if you haven't fully charged your batteries for, say, 30 days and you top them up, you're going to actually see the active battery management system and cell management system discharging and trimming up your battery cells individually internally inside every battery pack. So that's really cool information to see. If you fully charge your batteries every day when they're in service, which is how batteries are supposed to be maintained, they'll always be nice and even. If you've gone 30 days without a full charge or longer, it needs some time, several hours, for example, to trim up all those battery cells correctly so that you can fully extract the full capacity when you start loading the batteries up and actually running loads. So that sums up the key features of the premium DCS range of lithium batteries. And if you're in the market for the best battery technology on the Australian market today, you've just found it, you've just learned about it. So grab one of these batteries, head out there, enjoy the touring around the country, and we'll see you out in the tracks.